Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the City of Homestead Council presentation ceremony. Today is November 16th, 2022, and it is 5:30 p.m. Take it away, Councilwoman Bailey.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Love seeing our council chambers filled, especially with amazing people like you all. Our first presentation today, I'm very honored to introduce Chief Centeno. He is over quite a few of our fire stations in the area, and I actually had the pleasure of meeting him a few months back. We had just finished doing our water safety lanyards that we were giving out at Roby George Pool, and like many conversations go when I meet somebody, they say, well, I have some really good ideas I would love to get with you, and unlike most of those conversations, he has just followed through and just been really passionate about getting some programs started in the city. So I would like to call you up, please, if you'll come join me. We have worked together to get life jackets at Roby George Park. That is our pool, our one pool for the city. So it just fit in perfectly with these water safety lanyards, and I just could not be more appreciative of thinking of the kids and the community and seeing somewhere that you could do something and stepping up. So I know that with some of the firefighters from Station 16, they're working on a really cool rack for those life jackets to go on. And then anybody that comes to visit the Roby George Pool who isn't comfortable with swimming, they have an option now of having a life jacket. So, much, Chief, if you'd like to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here, Police Fire. The program that we started with Councilwoman Bailey, I wouldn't recognize her also for working with us on this project, which Roby George Park Pool does not have any life jackets. So our program will provide life jackets for children and adults that don't feel comfortable swimming. It'll be provided for them free of charge there at the pool. It'll belong to the pool, it'll stay at the pool, and at the end of the day, when everyone's done swimming, then they'll just give it back. So the persons that are swimming there, the citizens, can feel confident that they'll feel safe wearing a life jacket. And it also will put some strain off of the lifeguards. People who have life jackets, if they feel they're not so good of a swimmer. So I want to bring up my firefighters that have assisted with me in this endeavor of getting one of these projects started with the city of Homestead. This is Captain Brian Beckman and firefighter Cullen, firefighter Lopez, and driver Ray Berry. Thank you, everyone, for being here, and thank you, City of Homestead, for helping us getting this project started, which I'm sure is going to save some lives.
Thank you, Chief. Anybody want to say a few words? No? Okay. So there is another exciting announcement that we have this evening. We will be starting a Firefighter of the Year program through the city. So we are working together with our POI and the fire station's POI to get the criteria in order. So please look out for ways that you can submit your stories of how these brave individuals have gone above and beyond, which I know they do on the daily, but it's just a way for us to start something to really say thank you for being here and always responding when we need you. Thank you. So here, sorry. So this is a certificate of appreciation for Chief Centeno and Fire Station 16 for your donation of life jackets to Roby George Pool on the 16th day of November 2022. The City of Homestead thanks you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilwoman Bailey, and to all those from Miami-Dade Fire Rescue. Councilman Roth, you brought us to the safest room in Homestead tonight.
Thank you, Mayor. This is one of my favorite presentations, and it just does me, it just makes me feel so good to see so many of you guys here to honor one of your officers as Officer of the Month. And for my part in this presentation, it's very simple. I get to turn it over to Lieutenant Randy Owens, and he'll do all the work. Chief, awesome to see you here tonight. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Councilman Roth. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for having us this evening. I appreciate the opportunity and the venue to publicly acknowledge a couple of our officers for the month of October 2022. Chief, command staff, if you'd like to come up. Officers Sal Lopez and Giovanni Nazario, if you guys could come up as well, please. Unfortunately, Lieutenant Acosta, who was also involved in the events that led up to this, he couldn't be here this evening, but we'd like to mention him on his behalf as well. So, both these officers recently we acquired from other agencies. Sal Lopez was acquired from Miami-Dade Schools Police in May of last year. Officer Nazario was acquired from Florida City Police March of this year, if I'm not mistaken, correct? No better feeling in an officer's career than to have the opportunity to save someone's life. I can say that personally, and I'm sure everybody in this room can. But to be able to have an opportunity to save 2 people's lives, or 3 people's lives in the same week, that's almost unheard of. Sorry, Chief. I'd like to just give you a brief synopsis of the events that led up to Officer Sal's nomination for October 2022 Officer of the Month. On Saturday, October 22nd, Officer Lopez was working a traffic position at our NASCAR races. He was flagged down by a civilian that was advising that there were some people that needed help. So Officer Lopez ran across the street and over the guardrail to a canal where he saw 2 individuals struggling to stay above water. Lieutenant Acosta, who was also working that off-duty, saw Officer Lopez run across the street, and he ran over there with him. As well as, and I'd like to mention her as well, Miami-Dade School Officer Sabrina Boyano, who couldn't be here tonight. But they saw that there was an adult male and a juvenile male that were struggling to stay above water. Without hesitation, Officer Lopez jumped in full police gear and drugged the juvenile to shore. Lieutenant Acosta, as well as Officer Boyano, assisted in getting the adult male to the shore, and they were recovered without further incident. Both lives saved on that day. Second incident, on Wednesday, October 26th, just 4 days later after the initial incident, Officer Nazario and Lopez were dispatched to a local pharmacy due to a male passed out and possibly not breathing in a bathroom. They responded. They began CPR immediately, taking turns to try and revive the individual before fire rescue was able to get there. They were given Narcan. Narcan is a narcotic that is used to take the effects of an opium overdose away. Officer Lopez, with his training, was able to give him the Narcan through his sinus cavity, which ultimately ended up in reviving the individual, and he was rushed to the hospital where he later survived from the incident. So with both of those incidents, all 3 officers I mentioned, Lieutenant Acosta, Officer Nazario, and Officer Lopez, will be receiving on the Chief's approval a life-saving ribbon to be worn on their uniforms for the rest of their career for their courageous efforts in saving 2 individuals' lives. But also, Officer Lopez will be receiving the Officer of the Month award for the month of October 2022. So without further ado, Chief, if you want to do the honors, Sal. Basically, it reads, presented to Officer Sal Lopez for being selected Officer of the Month for October 2022 on the behalf of Chief Alexander E. Roll, Jr. and his command staff at the City Homestead Police Department. Congratulations, Officer.
I just want to add one thing. You know, as they were talking about saving the lives of those people in the canal that day, it was an act of God that they were even there that day. Because if it would have been any other day, they probably would have died. But we had NASCAR races going on. We had officers stationed all over the place. And these guys responded and reacted immediately to something that happened. So those folks that were saved that day, it was a blessing from God.
Thank you, Councilman Ross. Don't say anything? Oh, no, don't say anything? Okay. Well, listen, I always say that Homestead Police Department always try to select the best of the best. He hasn't been there that long, but I think that our selection shows everybody that we look and also bring in the best individuals for this job at Homestead PD. So thanks again. Appreciate you. And job well done. Also, you, Officer Navarro. These are 2 new officers. But these guys came here with the full understanding how Homestead Police Department patrol and produce and protect our citizens. So with that being said, again, thank you all so much. We really appreciate you guys. And thanks for the support from the mayor and the council, because without you all, none of this could happen. So thank you all again, and congratulations. Also, Jerry, city manager, thank you. Awesome, awesome.
Good evening. I want to start off by thanking my family, thanking the City of Homestead, thank you, Chief Roll, and thank you, the command staff. Everybody here has been able to guide me and help me out to be where I am today. So thank you to the City of Homestead Police Department for making me who I am. And I'm just blessed and grateful for the opportunity to be here and to be able to, save lives and, answer calls for service and pretty much, do whatever is asked. And I appreciate from the custodian that works in the department up to the chief. Thank you to everybody. Appreciate it.
Take a picture because the Officer Nazario, she's shy.
Does that conclude your presentation, Councilman Roth? All right. Well, we're all good, so we will adjourn this meeting and convene the regular council meeting in about 15 minutes at 6 o'clock. Again, thank you all and congratulations. There are none better than right here in the city of Homestead. Thank you all. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'd like to call the City of Homestead regular city council meeting to order. Today is Wednesday, November 16th, 2022, and it is 6:02 p.m. This evening, the invocation will be given by Pastor Kenneth Greathouse, with the pledge led by Councilman Roth. Please rise.
Lord Jesus, we love you today. We thank you for the privilege, the opportunity for us to gather together. We pray especially for your blessings upon the mayor, council, and all the city officials tonight. We pray, God, for the business that's being held tonight to be in your divine purpose, your divine will. We thank you for our police department, for our protection. We thank you for the great city of Homestead. We ask that your continued blessings be upon each and every one, and we give you the praise tonight in your mighty and precious name. Amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Roth. Here. Councilwoman Faircloth Staggers. Here. Councilman Fletcher.
Here.
Councilwoman Avila. Here. Councilwoman Bailey. Here. Mayor Lawson.
Here. All right, Mr. Manager, do you have any additions, deletions, or deferrals?
No, Mayor, I do not.
Thank you. Council, with respect to tab, I believe it's 17, the Chrome Corridor Study, this was primarily the interest spearheaded by the Vice Mayor, who's not with us tonight. So I would ask that we defer that to another meeting when he's present, and perhaps even in a workshop or committee, the whole format where it's the Chrome Corridor Study, tab 17. Do you have a motion to defer tab 17 to the next COW? Second. Moved by Councilman Ross, second by Councilman Fletcher. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Bailey.
Yes.
Councilman Roth.
Yes.
Councilman Fletcher.
Yes.
Councilwoman Avila. Yes. Councilwoman Faircloth Staggers. Mayor Lawson.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you all. Okay. Our next item is tab 1, a presentation by the Disaster Assistance Insurance Helpline. Are they present?
Yes, Mayor, they are.
In the house?
Yes.
You're up. The microphone's hot. Welcome. Please introduce yourself for us and have at it.
Good evening. My name is Dania Darbus, and I'm the Regional Administrator for the Department of Financial Services, Division of Agent and Agency. Is it open?
Pull it closer.
Okay, Division of Agent and Agency Services, Bureau of Investigations, okay? As many of you already know, our Chief Financial Officer is Jimmy Petronis. The Department of Financial Services have several divisions, and one of them is the Division of Consumer Services, which assists consumers with insurance-related complaints and, all type of insurance-related complaints, all lines of insurance. They also have a mediation program that helps to mediate between insurance companies and insurers that have property damage claims. So that kind of help them kind of work things out, okay? The Division of Consumer Services also work complaints, and they refer those cases to us, the Division of the Bureau of Investigation, if they find that there is any type of insurance violation of the Florida statute. So then we do the investigation. Once we conduct our investigations and we find, which is us, the Bureau of Investigation, and we find that there is some sort of violation, we refer our cases to our legal division so they can just impose some sort of administrative action, which consists in revocation of licenses, suspension, they impose fines, and if it's very severe, the violation that one of our licensees has done, then we may just bar them from the insurance industry. We also assist Florida consumers with the after hurricane math, as you probably already know, by establishing villages and by bringing in insurance companies to those villages where they can quickly and help their insurers mitigate their damages, which is something that recently happened with Hurricane Ian and Hurricane Nicole. So we have villages in those affected areas, and we work closely with law enforcement officers to make sure that those public adjusters work, I would say public adjuster in the area to make sure that they're licensed. Because most of the time in situations like that, we find a lot of people that they're not licensed and they just take advantage of the consumers. We also encourage Florida consumers to please contact the Department of Financial Services to check online. Our website is myfloridacfo.com to search the names of any person that they may encounter before they do business with them. In other words, prior signing any contracts with a public adjuster or an insurance agent, they may want to search to make sure that they are licensed with us. We also encourage Florida consumers that prior signing any contractual agreement to please read them carefully, because sometimes they assign benefits to contracting companies, contractors, or some home improvement companies where they assign these benefits. And then what happens is that the claim checks go directly to those companies instead of them, and it might not be in their own best interest. Okay? Well, again, our division statement is to protect Florida consumers by licensing competent individuals and by fairly investigating our cases pertaining to violation of the Florida insurance law. With that being said, I'm open for any questions.
Well, thank you. Very good information. Do you have a local office?
Yes, we do.
And where's that located?
Our office is 401 Northwest 2nd Avenue. We're right at the Road Building in Miami.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm the regional administrator for Miami-Dade County and Monroe County.
Right. Very good. Thank you. Council, any questions or comments? Okay. Well, thank you. Appreciate you coming down and sharing that with our
Thank you
residents
so much.
tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Our next item is the consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Moved by Councilman Fletcher, seconded by Councilwoman Bailey. All in favor? Any opposed? There are no quasi-judicial hearing items tonight. We're off to the legislative matters. The second reading, car number 3695, public hearing number 2022-120, food truck pilot program. Mr. Pearl?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Tab 13 is the second reading of an ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, amending the City Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 16, Local Business Taxes and Business Regulations, Article 16, Mobile Vendors, to provide exceptions related to mobile food dispensing vehicles and further establishing Article 17, Mobile Food Vending, to permit the operation of mobile food dispensing vehicles in particular areas of the city, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Okay. Thank you. Council, any initial questions, comments? I believe there's one item, Mr. White, we need to address for final adoption.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. If you all may recall that in our discussions back in October at first reading, one of the outstanding issues that I couldn't decide on a definitive determination, and I said, think about it, we could finalize it at second reading, was if you all wanted to have a time frame with respect to the operation of food trucks. There was some discussion about 12 p.m., but there was not a consensus. So the only thing that I need from you all this evening is a final direction from me
hour
to close that item out so that I could insert that for the second reading of the ordinance.
Council, any thoughts? Councilwoman Avila? You were grabbing the microphone first, then Mr. Roth.
Thank you. What are the current normal closing times required for regular businesses?
So we in the city don't have closing times for restaurants or businesses. The times that are the times that we do have are dictated by the alcohol regulation, last call laws, right? So those are the time frames where you have to stop serving alcohol, but you can continue to stay open longer than that. So we don't have any end time frame associated with when a restaurant has to close or how long a restaurant or a business.
I'm fine with mirroring our regular business standards for the purposes of the pilot program, and then adjusting those as we continue to monitor and try out this new concept.
But James, to clarify, there are no regulations. If a restaurant wants to be a 24-hour restaurant, that's in their purview, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Raw, Councilman Raw?
Thank you, Mayor. That was my same thought, was do we have anything already set up? And I understand the alcohol part of it, but I'm okay with, I mean, the business is going to dictate how long they stay open anyway, so it's not like people are going to be going to a food truck at 2:30 in the morning, I would think, and then go to McDonald's or Burger King. You know, it's just one of those things, so I'm okay with that part.
Anything from my left? Councilman Fletcher?
Yeah, just briefly. So I don't have a problem with it, but, you know, we do have the potential for one of these vendors to pull up and set up shop for 24-hour small business around the clock. You know, if they decided to pick their spot and stay there, you know, then we don't have any controls over them at that point in time.
That would be under agreement with the private property owner. We're not talking about
I understand that, but there's still potential for that person to move around within the city, different locations, but maintain that 24-hour open availability. That's all I would caution against. Thank you.
Any further comments from my right? Of course, our noise ordinances and playing of music, open air would apply to that. So
Right.
we wouldn't have a situation where music should be blaring out in a parking lot at 3 o'clock in the morning. And again, the one issue I had is that there were no cap on the maximum number of trucks on a site. That was one of the concerns I had. You know, you could effectively see a shopping center parking lot converted to a 24-hour food truck full of food trucks. That was my concern. Are there any further questions or comments? We have public comment. Let's get Mr. Kraft a microphone.
Thank you. I just have a question. Food trucks, when they are here in town, they have a tendency to run on generators, or they use the diesel engine on the vehicle. Is it possible that we can connect them to the grid so they can run on Homestead power and therefore not do the pollution? Because when you have generators running 24/7, or you have a diesel truck running 24/7, it makes a lot of noise and it also pollutes the area. We had the issue when we had the Lobster Park opening. All those trucks was right? That's annoying, and it smells. And it takes away from their good food that they are serving. Would it be possible to connect them to the grid, for instance, from some of the light poles, where we can also then charge them for the power they're using? That's all. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Kraft. I think, again, to that's whatever agreement they cut with the private property owner for the consumption for the use of the location and the consumption of power.
Add to that?
Yes, Councilwoman Avila.
It's a great point, and I think that might come with like phase 2 of this pilot program. One of the items that Vice Mayor Guzman mentioned was creating an actual permanent property where we can have plug-and-play type of food truck experiences. So, great point. Thank you.
And again, I'm not opposed to this concept. I think it's a good idea and a good concept. My objection is to the no caps as to the number of trucks in a given location. So do we have a motion to approve on second reading? Moved by Councilwoman Avila. Seconded by Councilwoman Bailey. Oh, let me follow the procedure and close the public hearing. We have a motion and a second, so if there's nothing further from council.
Just clarify,
Yes.
is that motion and that second that there's no time frame?
Correct. Madam Clerk?
Councilman Roth? Councilman Fletcher?
Yes.
Councilwoman Avila? Councilwoman Fairclough Staggers? Councilwoman Bailey? Mayor Losner?
No.
The motion carries.
All right, thank you. All right. Next item is tab 14, which is the first reading of car number 3670, the Florida Power and Light and City of Homestead Electric Franchise Agreement. Mr. Pearl.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Tab 14 is first reading of an ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, granting to Florida Power and Light Company, its successors and assigns, a non-exclusive electric franchise, imposing provisions and conditions relating thereto, providing for monthly payment of a franchise fee to the city, providing for adoption of representations, repealing all ordinances in conflict, and providing a severability clause and an effective date.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Manager, tell us about this one.
Thank you, Mayor. Florida Power and Light has applied to the City of Homestead for a 30-year franchise to construct, install, and maintain facilities to provide electrical service to FPNL customers within the city limits. In accordance with City Code Section 2811, the city can provide FPNL with a franchise if the city deems this to be in the best interest of its residents. In return for the franchise, FPNL will pay a monthly franchise fee to the city equal to 6% of their gross revenues for sales of electricity to their customers within the city limits. Staff recommends that Mayor and Council approve the attached ordinance and authorize the city manager to approve a franchise agreement with Florida Power and Light, allowing for the construction, maintenance, and operation of facilities needed to provide electrical services to their customers within the city. And I believe we have representatives on the line.
Okay, but before I let you off the hook, just what is the projected annual income as a result of this to the city?
Rough is between $200,000 to $300,000, my understanding.
Very good, thank you. All right, do we have a representative from FP&L on the line? Go ahead if you can hear us.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, if you can see me. Yes, there we go. Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor and Council. It's good to see you all. I have with me our counsel on this matter, Ms. Monica Barnes, who's also here. We're really just making ourselves available to answer any questions that you may have of us.
Very good. Let me turn it over to Council and see if there are any questions or comments on this item. I don't see any. Appreciate you being here, Mr. Baldwin. Is anyone wishing to speak on this matter? Open the public hearing. Okay, we'll close the public hearing. We have a motion to approve. Moved by Councilwoman Avila, seconded by Councilwoman Bailey. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Fletcher?
Yes.
Councilman Roth?
Yes.
Councilwoman Fairclough Staggers? Councilwoman Bailey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Avila? Mayor Losner?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight. All right, our next item is the first reading of tab 15, and this is car number 3709, final fiscal year 2022 budget amendments. Mr. Pearl?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, tab 15 is the first reading of an ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, amending the budgets for each of the several funds and departments of the city for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2021 and ending September 30th, 2022 by increasing the total budgeted revenues and expenditures by $2,543,000, providing for severability and an effective date.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Pearl. Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. In November of every year, the city has historically completed a budget amendment to its prior year's budget. The fiscal year 2022 budget amendment allows for the required appropriations of funds for the expenses of the department and/or funds. This is a customary part of the budget process, and the budget amendment allows the budget to be trued up once all actual revenues and expenses are accounted for. Examples of recommended actions with the budget amendments are transfer between funds, transfers between capital projects, appropriation from fund balance, appropriation from unanticipated revenues. This year, the amendments are totaling a total of $2,543,000, of which $1.2 million was used to replenish the solid waste fund. Staff recommends that mayor and council approve and amend the fiscal year 2022 budget as outlined in the staff memorandum, and this is the first reading of this ordinance.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments from council? Is there anyone wishing to speak on this matter? I'll open the public hearing. None appearing. I'll close the public hearing and ask for a motion to approve. Moved by Councilman Roth, seconded by Councilwoman Bailey. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Fairclough Staggers? Yes. Councilwoman Bailey? Yes. Councilman Roth? Yes. Councilman Fletcher?
Yes.
Councilwoman Avila? Yes. Mayor Losner?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Our next item is tab 16, and this is a first reading of car number 3710, the fiscal year 2023 budget amendment for purchase order rollovers from fiscal year 2022. Mr. Pearl?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Tab 16 is a first reading of an ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, amending the budgets for each of the several funds and departments of the city for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2022 and ending September 30th, 2023 by increasing the total budgeted revenues and expenditures by $9,035,940, providing for a repealer, severability, and an effective date.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. The purpose of this amendment is to roll the amounts encumbered primarily for ongoing capital projects at the fiscal year end 2022 into the current fiscal year's budget. This amendment is done annually during the month of November. Staff recommends that Mayor and Council approve and amend the fiscal year 2023 budget for various funds as per the attached schedule.
Okay, thank you. Any initial questions or comments from council? Okay, I'll open the public hearing. Does anyone wish to speak on this matter? None. I'll close the public hearing and ask for a motion to approve. Moved by Councilwoman Bailey. Second by Councilwoman Avila. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Avila? Yes. Councilwoman Fairclough Staggers? Yes. Councilman Fletcher?
Yes.
Councilman Roth?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bailey? Mayor Losner?
Yes.
The motion carries.
All right, very good. Thank you. All right, our next item is tab 18, and this is car number 3707, discussion of the fiscal year 2023 legislative packet. Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. The 2023 legislative regular session convenes on March 7th, 2023. Every year, the City of Homestead staff compiles a summary of state legislative and funding requests that incorporates projects from the city's capital improvement plan, as well as other legislative requests. So we have two things here, Mayor. We have Jose Diaz in the back here, so he can give us an idea of what's going to be coming up in this next session up in Tallahassee. And then after that, the staff is looking for some guidance from council if there's any additions they would like to make to the legislative packet or take things out as well.
Good, thank you. Mr. Diaz? Welcome back.
Mr. Mayor, Council, thank you very much. Jose Fuentes apologized he couldn't be here. He had a prior commitment. I think we're looking at a good upcoming year, really because of national politics. You know, our governor, there's talk about what our governor may be doing, and he himself has said, I think he wants to put a positive foot forward the next 2 years and look really good. So I think it's going to be, you know, it should be a good year. They have set the first, now that the elections are over, first week of committees will be in December, the week of December 12th. And then we'll have 3 weeks of committees in January, 3 weeks of committees in February, and then session will start March 2nd, the first Tuesday in March through the first Friday in May for 60 days. We don't have any committee members yet or who are going to be chairs or anything like that. That'll take a while. But I think it should be a good year for legislatively for us. So I'm here if you have any questions.
Any feeling yet on what the flavor or the direction of funding is going to be? You know, it seems like some years it's in resiliency and other years it's environment, whatever it may be.
I think
inkling?
I think, Mr. Mayor, because we've had 2 hurricanes in a matter of such a short period of time, hurricane hardening, a lot of insurance reforms. The governor has called a special session. I believe they'll do it the same week of committees in December to just save money and knock it out at once. So there'll be insurance reform. I think really his main goal for that special session is to, so that if your house is destroyed or if your house is damaged, you don't have to pay your insurance premiums while you're refixing your house and getting things back up. And some tax breaks also on the assessments on those properties. Environmental, water quality and water issues, I think, will be, as always, on there. So,
Thank you, Council. Any thoughts, questions? Councilman Fletcher.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for being here, Mr. Diaz. I see we've kind of identified 5 priorities for the legislative packet. There's a lot of things in that whole package, and I think we would be remiss if we don't try and get everything we possibly can. Of course, focusing on these, but I truly believe that the infrastructure issues that the city of Homestead is facing right now and the funding that we're looking for, I think there's some opportunity there for us, and I would ask my colleagues to reach out to our representatives as well, Mr. Chambliss, Senator Ana Maria Rodriguez, and Jim Mooney, to help drive those messages home. I spoke with Representative Mooney last week, and he's like, hey, I have an open door, and my phone's always open. Our phone's always ready to take a call from you guys in Homestead. So he says use them, ride them like a polo pony is basically what he told me. So let's reach out to those guys. But infrastructure issues, I think, is tremendous for us to focus on. Not negating some of the other good things we've done in the past. We still need to go after those. But I would be open to hearing my colleagues as well.
If I may, Mr. Mayor. We always obviously take the priorities, but and you have the top 5, but the whole plan as a whole is a roadmap for us. So we're constantly looking for pots of money that come up, or especially as we're moving through the session and getting closer, and we try, hey, look, this was this one that's here. We might be able to get some money from this pot for it. So we are always looking, between Jose Fuentes and myself, we're always looking anything we can get, anywhere we can get it.
So I would say that in that regard, this entire package, while it's very extensive, as you say, it is an evolving process where pots of money appear, and hey, this item could be pigeonholed here. I think Mr. Manager, are you looking for confirmation of these priorities or the package or any additions?
Any additions the council would like to make, or like, for example, we're applying for the breast cancer funding again. We're applying for 500,000. We believe that's enough, but maybe 600 would be better, or some direction there. Or if you guys or if council's okay with the list of items, then we'll just move forward with the list as is.
All right. Well, let's hear from the rest of council. Councilwoman Bailey.
Thank you, Mayor. The one thing that I brought up when we spoke was to see if there were any opportunities. I know Mayor Cava has a lot of new initiatives to help with the housing crisis. So if you come across anything that we can do on our level when we see issues here in Homestead, I would greatly appreciate that.
We'll keep that on the radar.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilwoman Avila.
Thank you, Mayor. So I think that this is a good baseline to start with. We've got the breast cancer screening in there. We've got infrastructure with our pump station. Our police request is in there for the command center. And then we do have our parks. So you're checking a lot of our boxes with this short list. But if we can get more money for parks, fantastic. If we can get more money for infrastructure, even better. So I think this is a good baseline, and infrastructure for sure should be one of our top priorities. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Councilman Roth, anything to add? Okay. Councilwoman Fairclough? And it's interesting. It's good timing tonight. One of the additions that's in the overall list is sort of related. Well, it is squarely on point to the earlier presentation Councilman Roth did. As council members over the years, we all get these dreaded emails about drownings and other tragic incidents in our city, and after the last notification we got where our officers did that incredible job of life-saving, it occurred to me that maybe we need to do something about, through our Parks and Recreation Department, that every kid in the city of Homestead has the opportunity to have swimming lessons. So we put that in here, this $100,000 request to do a learn to swim. I mean, look, we all know Florida is the lightning and juvenile drowning capital of the world, and we don't realize how many of our children and adults, but I'm going to focus on children here who don't know how to swim, and we can help avoid some of these tragedies in our community. But I agree, the infrastructure, the parks, the police, this is one of the best lists I've seen in a very, very realistic, I think, in terms of priorities and where we go and where the flavor of the year will be, and sets a good precedent for the coming years to continue some of those efforts. So what do you need from us? Just heads nodding in the affirmative to go
Just say
forward
you're
with
good
this
to
one?
go, and then we're
Okay.
good to go.
You're good to go. We're all good to go? Good to go. Thank you, Jose. Yeah. All right. So this is the time of the evening. We open the floor to public comments. I know several of you, or several individuals have submitted requests to speak, and I'm taking them in the order that they were submitted. If you're here, come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record, and we've got you on a 3-minute shot clock. The first one is Robert Anderson. Mr. Anderson, are you here? Good evening. Come on down.
Well, I'll make it short. I just want to have a meeting, a personal meeting with the person that runs Homestead Utilities. That's all I want.
Good, so see our manager and the assistant manager here, and they'll get you set up.
Yeah,
and
we'll
get a
set that
handle
up.
on what direction you need to go in.
Okay, fine, thank you.
Very good, thank you. Next up is, looks like Nelson, is it Ducos? Nelson, are you here? Okay.
Mayor, if I may,
Yes.
I think those are some AYSO folks, and if they don't come, I'll express what they were coming for tonight in my public.
Very
in
good.
my
All right,
part.
so we'll go through that. The next one is also an AYSO, Omar Campuzano. Omar, okay. Next is AYSO Irma Jimenez. Okay. Another AYSO, San Juanita Camprano. This one's not clear. I don't think it is an AYSO, so Councilman Roth, fill us in.
All right. Well, I know they have another function going on tonight, and they did want to speak to us in reference to potential sponsorships. They have an opportunity to take 3 of their teams from AYSO and participate in what I'm assuming, or I'm characterizing as what they told me was the same thing as the 4-year soccer thing for the professionals, and I'm not sure what that's called, out in California next year. So I think it's June or July that they're doing that, and there's 3 teams that have been selected by this organization to come out and compete on behalf of the city of Homestead and their organization, and they're going through the community, and they have to raise about $35,000 per team. So I said, well, the city can't, do all that, but if you want to come and present your case to us, that I would commit $500 out of my PR account to help them towards their goal to be out there next year. And the way they had presented it to me is it's an honor for them to have been selected to compete out there in California against the rest of the country when it comes to soccer. I think it was Youth 16 is one of the teams. I don't remember all of it, and I was hoping they would be here to speak, but like I said, they have another commitment they're doing. They probably get here later, but they're not here now. So I'll ask them to come back again, because it's not till, I think, June or July of next year. So they'll have more opportunities to come and speak to all of you individually if they want to as well. But on behalf of myself, I'm going to commit a $500 donation to their organization to help them get out to California. And I'm sure Councilwoman Avila's already got her brain working, because that's how she thinks, is, there's other people that'll help. And there's going to be a lot of people. I'm sure they're going to raise the money that they need. So,
Very
and that's
good.
all I really have.
And if they've got something they can circulate, and certainly when we
Yeah.
have there's plenty of time for them to come
And
back.
they may show up before the end of the evening, and if they do,
Sure.
respectfully, we'll give them a chance to,
Mr.
at
Mayor.
least one of them.
Councilman Fletcher.
Yeah, I've just kind of been putting some thought process into a lot of these folks that come to us and request assistance. And one of the ways I was thinking is, how come we can't host like a monthly type event, car wash type event on city property where we come out and help an organization, raise some money for that event, make it a big deal where we all come out and help. And that way it's not always money. Maybe it's water this time, or it's, us lending a helping hand, selling drinks. I don't know if you remember in grade school, we all had to sell all that stuff and our parents ended up buying all of it. But, something of that nature. I think if we work together as a team, rather than it always being money, there's other things we can do to help support these organizations, to help them raise money.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Okay, next up we have Eddie Perez. Mr. Perez, are you here? Okay. Next is Ms. Leela Beasley. Ms. Beasley, are you here? I think that probably had to do with the James Archer Smith Park issues. Do we have a positive update or an update one way or the other? Have we kind of suppressed those issues?
Yeah, we have an update from the Colonel.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. In regards to the James Archer Smith Park issues, the police department is totally aware of the issues. Our community policing has reached out and done door-to-door contacts with them. We've actually conducted over 711 extra watch checks on that park alone since the issue was first brought to us a couple weeks ago. So we're trying to address the problems aggressively.
Very good. Appreciate it. And I know
Yes, sir.
when I first came to my attention, Ms. Beasley called me. You were there that next night. I appreciate that, and I know it's a real benefit for that neighborhood. So thank you. All right. Next we have Sandina Cartier. Ms. Cartier, are you here? Okay. Melinda Washington. Ms. Washington, are you here? And finally, what's this? Anton Kraft? Oh, he's here. Okay. Mr. Kraft, anything to add tonight? Well, let us get you a microphone if there is.
Thanks. Yeah, of course I'm here. I cannot help it. But anyway, I have two things that I would like to address. One of them is the sidewalks. I was basically pointed in the direction of the sidewalks by a good friend of mine, almost a brother, and he told me that he didn't like to see me on driving around on this little contraption on the road, because he said I could easily be hit by a vehicle. That's true. But the reason to why I have done it is basically because the sidewalks in many places in Homestead is not suited for a contraption like this scooter or other things similar, because they are uneven in their holes and cracks and what have you not. That's why people like me, when we are on a vehicle like this, we choose the road because it's even. If we took the sidewalk, I will fall, and I will probably be able to sue the owner or the city or something like that. And because I love the city, I would never do that, but I would like to tell the city that we need to do something about the sidewalks, and especially when we want to enhance downtown and the surrounding areas for pedestrians. Milo comes up and built up on the old city lot, then we should be able to have people be able to walk from there down to Chrome Avenue and enjoy all the things that we want to put there. That's one thing. The other thing that I would like to address is that we have Losner Park now in full glory. The only thing missing is a fountain or a creek or something like that. That would make it perfect. And I've been there on odd hours. We need a little police presence there, like a foot patrol, every now and then, because some of the undesirables have started to moving in. And I guess it comes with it when you have and the opportunity to do it when you are in their situation. But I think we need to make them think otherwise by having a food patrol every now and then. That was basically it. And then I would like to tell the city and the police department that they're doing a great job. Especially, for instance, when we take the police, because they're always under fire for something in the media, and they never get the appreciation they need. And it's important that we appreciate them. Also, we appreciate the people we have in the clerk's office, because that's basically the first line of defense. Everybody else is secured in the fortress on the second and third floor. They take all the crap down there together with Pierre. We need to appreciate those guys. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you. And jump in if I say anything wrong here, Mr. Mann, or incorrect. With respect to sidewalks, I think we have ongoing budgeted items for rolling sidewalk repairs. We're not unmindful of that. There is a program whereby money is allocated every year to do those repairs. And the best source of where the need is greatest are our citizens letting us know that. Our employees and our council members can't be everywhere all of the time. So it's important that we hear from the public as to those, extraordinarily bad conditions so that we can allocate resources in that direction. Then you also mentioned downtown, and you'll see hopefully in the next couple of months where we've got some engineering coming in. Federal grant is in hand, I think, to completely redo the sidewalks, curbing, I think lighting on both downtown Chrome and Washington Avenue. So you'll be seeing that in the next few months, and I think we're going to have some designs that create more of a public space, both for pedestrian traffic and outdoor dining and entertainment on both of our main downtown streets. So that is on the way, probably in the next 30 to 90 days.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very good. Okay. But thank you, Mr. Kraft.
Mayor, if I may, just for a second.
Yeah.
Just to follow up on that, you mentioned the grant money and those improvements, because I noticed that during the parade, I was walking a lot on the west side, Chrome Avenue side, where the bricks are being pushed up by the root systems.
They're going away.
That are causing trip hazards throughout there. So that's part of that program
Yes.
that's going to be fixed. And I would encourage them not to use bricks anymore, because that's always going to be a problem with the root systems there.
Correct.
All right, thank you.
Be more mindful of the kind of landscaping and the materials that we use so that we're not redoing it every 25 or 30 years.
You're absolutely correct, Mayor. It's going to be a full plan that's going to come to council for your review, and what we're looking at is that stamped concrete. So we're going to definitely go away from the brick pavers.
All right, so thank you, Mr. Kraft. All right, is there anyone else wishing to speak under public comments who did not sign in? All right, so we will close that portion of the agenda. Anything further, Mr. Manager?
Mayor, just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and let's have a great time, right?
Thank you. Mr. Pearl, anything? No executive sessions? Everything's good?
No, everything is good. Just
Very
happy
good. Turn
Thanksgiving.
that clock off. Okay. All right, Councilman Roth, you're up.
I think I've said everything for tonight, but AYSO is on the way. They should be here in about 3-4 minutes. Thank you.
Councilwoman Avila?
Thank you, Mayor. I want to say congratulations to our Officer of the Month. I am sorry I missed the presentation, but Officer Salvador Lopez, congratulations for the recognition. And thank you, Councilman Roth, for recognizing the heroes that save lives in our community. Lieutenant Michael Acosta, Officer Salvador Lopez again, and Giovanni Nazario, which I believe is the Doral officer, correct? So what a fantastic partnership, and thank you to our PD for just being the amazing individuals that you are. I want to announce the Waterstone Tree Lighting Ceremony is happening again this Saturday in my district. It's a beautiful event. It is open to the public. Thank you to PD and Parks and Recs for accommodating their requests. I am a proud sponsor of that event, so I invite you all to come and attend. And what a phenomenal grand reopening of our Losner Park. Fantastic job. I was so delighted. My kids were begging me to go back all weekend long. So thank you very much for that fabulous outcome. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, to our first responders who will continue to work through those holidays. Thank you for everything that you do for our community. And I want to just highlight our civic clubs that also serve during these times, that are providing meals, including our SWAC group. And this is just a reminder why we should continue to support our civic clubs and their efforts to raise money. And speaking of which, the Rotary Prime Rib Dinner, I'm not sure if you were going to mention it, Mayor, but that is coming up, I believe, on December 2nd. So please come out and support the Rotary, which does a phenomenal job as well with donating to children and families in our community. Thank you very much. Good evening.
Councilwoman Bailey?
Thank you, Mayor. So first of all, it is my all-time favorite nephew's birthday today. I have to say happy birthday, Mason. So we've had a couple bad luck instances in the Southwest lately. One, unfortunately, was the Friday of the Losner Park opening. There was a car that struck one of the main electrical poles. And I want to start by saying that I'm always incredibly impressed by how the supervisors that are on call reply, and more importantly, how quickly they fix any of the issues that we have in the city. But on that night, the ball was dropped. For me, the most important thing is just always having a dependable crew that is on call. And those outage messages, those emails really help us to see if there are any areas that we really need to be concerned about. We have seniors that are on oxygen, we have small children. So, like I said, please first know how thankful I am, and it's not until we have a bad issue that you really realize how lucky we've been. But just, I know staff has been working on some plan Bs of what happens if some of our crews can't come out, so thank you very much for working on that. But I just wanted to mention that. The second thing was some vandalism at Blakey Park. Our playground was cracked and beaten up, so thank you to Parks for coming out so quickly. I noticed that when we went for our latest CPR class, so I also want to thank Officer Rogers and the PAL crew for helping us get over 30 more residents of Homestead certified in CPR. Yes, it was amazing. So we still, every time we do a class, we end up with another list of about 20 people or so that are interested in doing it. So continue sharing the news. It is a free course to be certified, and if you need the card, it's only $20 or $25, and now only $6 for teachers. So that was very good to hear. The last thing is, I'm not sure if we're in charge of the lighting once you turn west on 4th Street from Chrome to the more downtown of 4th Street area, but all of those lights were out last night. So once you hit the downtown part, they were all lit, which I have not seen in a while, so that was wonderful to see. But I'm not sure if that piece is our responsibility or not.
Either way, we'll check it out.
Perfect. Thank you, thank you. And that's it. Happy Thanksgiving, and wishing everybody a fantastic next couple weeks. Thank you.
All right, very good. So I think AYSO has now joined us. So please come up, and whoever's going to speak on behalf of the AYSO, give us your name and address, and welcome.
Just to preface this just a second, this is San Juanita, right? Yes. Yeah, okay. So she signed up for tonight. I tried to do my best and explain to them what Nelson had explained to me. I don't think I did a good job. So this is your opportunity to plead your case.
We had a script, but we're just going to wing it here. He's parking right now. We were actually at Kex off of Homestead. They're supporting us in raising money for our kids, but I'm San Juanita Campuzano. I'm a board member for AYSO. These are 3 of our players. 2 of them are my children. Lexi is my adopted daughter. But we would have loved to fill our room with all of our AYSO players, but like I said, they're supporting us at Kex South right now. But our fall season just ended last week, and we create an all-star league for our players. You know, Homestead's, sorry, a little nervous. You know, Homestead's not only ethnically diverse, but socioeconomically as well. So we try to provide a competitive season for some of our more talented players that can't necessarily afford soccer club fees. Our organization is nonprofit. I have our regional commissioner here, if you want to step up and take over. So, so basically, go ahead if you want to start.
I'll start. Sorry, we're fundraising for the kids, so we just actually came from a fundraiser straight over here. You guys are doing so great, bringing all these people in, all this traffic. So good evening. Thank you for taking the time to hear me today. My name is Nelson Ducos. I'm the Regional Commissioner of the American Youth Soccer Organization, also known as AYSO here in Homestead. AYSO has been providing a world-class youth recreational soccer program for over 25 years, right here in our great town, built on volunteer power. AYSO is a nonprofit program that not only teaches soccer, but brings together and helps further families in our community. Our board members, coaches, referees, we all do this out of love for the kids, the sport, and our hometown. Although I'm not originally from here, I've been here for over 10 years. I moved here after high school, and I am proud to say this is where I live, this is where my family resides, and not only my immediate family, all of you, and all of AYSO. Now that our fall season has ended, we started our All-Star season, in which some of our more experienced players get to train and compete against other experienced clubs. Our coaches still volunteer their time and to train our teams for these tournaments. The City and Parks Department have always been supportive of our program. I know, I see Pedro just off the top of my head. He's been great with us, always willing to help any way he can. Tonight, AYSO comes before you to ask for extra support for 3 of our teams in another way. I have brought other board members, coaches, and players to speak to you tonight as well, in hopes that you will give our organization, help give this organization a once-in-a-lifetime chance for some of these players. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Omar Campuzano. I'm actually on the board as well. I'm the CVPA, the Child Volunteer Protective Advocate. We make sure we screen all volunteers for our program. And I just want to speak a little bit about nationals. Our RC, Mr. Duco, spoke about, our Homestead AYSO region, and it's the best region, in my opinion, if you ask me. However, we are part of a national program. Some site put us nationally at 50,000 teams with about 500,000 players nationwide, from Florida to California to Hawaii and every town in between. Some call us the biggest club in the world. As stated by my colleague, we are all volunteers, so although we have huge numbers nationally, we are at the same time very local. Whenever we participate in an event, whether it's our own Hurricane Cup or state games, we're known solely as Homestead. Not AYSO, we're Homestead. We're not Region 805, we're not AYSO, but everyone knows us as Homestead. When our teams were selected to be part of nationals, we were all ecstatic and jumped at the opportunity. Can you imagine representing our region at the national level, bringing Homestead as we are known under the national spotlight? National mimic the World Cup, in which it's held every 4 years. This time it will be held in Irvine, California from July 25th to the 30th. The selection was done via a lottery. Our region submitted all eligible teams, and we were fortunate enough to get 3 teams selected. The tournament has been held since 1988, and being that it's held every 4 years and through a lottery means that quite possibly this could be the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for players and families that were invited. As volunteers, we see the excitement that children have, and we want to do everything we can to make this dream and opportunity a reality. As volunteers and active members of the community, we volunteer our time, and we want to thank you tonight for your time and all the service you do for this community, and I'll now pass it along.
So you all are familiar with AYSO. We've been in Homestead for a very long time with the old sports complex, etc. So our All-Star program, since we are nonprofit and we are volunteer, we do have some requirements to be part of our program, not just play soccer, but we like to do it full circle. So it takes a village. So our players are required to volunteer and help out, set up the fields, ref. We participate in our community events, so we thank you for the things you're bringing to our youth. We try to help out with the Homestead Soup Kitchen and do food drives. So we're more than just a soccer program. We think that's important. Have been here for generations of Homestead, so we have players that are now coaches coaching their own children. And I think it's hear from the kids how they feel about our organization.
Hi, my name is Sofia Campuzano, and I'm one of the players at AYSO. As someone who has been there since they were 4 years old, AYSO really has a special place in my heart. And when we found out that we were going to national games, I was ecstatic. I am excited to compete and represent the city of Homestead and hopefully bring back an award to put our town on the map. I'm hoping that in listening to us, you will be able to support us in fulfilling our dreams. And I appreciate you taking the time to listen, and thank you for everything you do to make the community better for young people like myself.
Good evening, Council. My name is Omar Campuzano, and I am part of the 12U boys team that was chosen to compete at the Nationals. I have been a part of AYSO since I was 4 years old, and I have grown up on our soccer fields, watching my dad coach my sister Sophia. I have made lifelong friends on the field. I have not only learned how to play soccer, but how to give back to my community by volunteering. My teammates and I are ready for the challenge to work hard and make our town proud at Nationals. Thank you for your time and support.
These are children educated right here in Homestead. Very proud of So we are here to see if the city would be able to support us monetarily in any way. We know we have your support, especially with our Parks Department. They're amazing with us, and we appreciate all that they do. But like I said before, we're a diverse socioeconomically program, and we have children that have never been on an airplane before, and we would love to make this dream come true for them.
Good. Well, before you arrived tonight, we had some discussions about, utilizing our discretionary funds, and also Councilman Fletcher had some ideas how the community can come together and help not only your group, but all the others that come before us, how we can help you earn money in a community-wide effort. And I just want to say 2 things. I look forward to our council meeting in August when you come back and show off some really big trophies from your trip to California. I am certain of that. I'm also certain, your name's Omar? I'm certain with the power and the projection and the confidence that you stood at that podium with tonight, that you're going to sit in this seat someday. So we're on it. We are fully behind you, and I know what's the deadline for raising the funds?
Well, we're shooting for February to buy airline tickets.
Sure.
For them.
The goal is we have 3 teams, 15 players each on the 2 older teams, and 12 on the younger U12 boys. So 42 kids, and then we do require a parent, a chaperone. So that's kind of why we're kind of fundraising. By February, we're looking to buy flights. In talks with the national office in regards to hotels and things that can be put on hold, and we can pay that later. The most important thing is getting the flights, because right now they're ranging anywhere from $600 to $750 a kid. So it is a lot. We do have dedicated parents and dedicated volunteers who do want to do this. So we're all in and doing everything we can.
So basically 60 days. That's
Sorry?
it's basically 60 days.
Yes.
That is your cushion, and it's certainly something that we can accomplish for you. And I know we have all of your contact information. And thank you for all you do for the kids and what you do, teach them to do for our community as well.
Thank you very much.
you.
Appreciate it.
All right. Councilwoman Fairclough Staggers. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilman Roth.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, I skipped you. Councilman Fletcher, you're first on the list.
Yeah. Thank you so
I'm
much.
on you too.
Appreciate the AYSO teams coming out. One thing I think we need to look at too, so Miami's been awarded the FIFA Cup in 2026. So maybe we need to reach out to our county organizations as well to help assist with some of this fundraising capacity. I think there's going to be a lot of things happening in between the city of Homestead and the county between now and then, where we might have some partnerships that will help improve our system and parks. So let's, if we can, make some I'm going to reach out to the mayor personally, but as you all, the mayor of Miami-Dade County.
The other mayor.
The other mayor, yes, sir. But if we all do, again, we show unity and we can help bring things to a better ending. With that, into my business, first and foremost, I'd like to welcome Chief Rollback from his time away. Thank you, and thank you for being here tonight. And I have a few items, and I want to start off and preface them that this is not a blindside shot at anybody at the city staff. I actually had a discussion with Jerry about these earlier, to give him a little heads up. So these are some things that happened to come across my mind here over the last few days. And one of the things that really hit me was back in my old days when I worked in different departments, we had basically what was called a system health report. So we would look at engineering, we would look at security, we would look at mechanical, and we'd have a top 5 list of things that we need to do right away. The very first time funding comes available, we need to handle these. The other would be issues with, items that have manufacturer's recommendations for replacement. So, some valves last 5 years, some last 10, some last 15, but you have a running list where these things are going on. So, I challenged the manager that I know we have a top 5, CIP list, but I think we should have a top 5 and a top 10 running list in each of our departments that if something becomes available, we're able to reach and grab and get that funding immediately. That's kind of what we're doing with the legislative packet, but this is something more that each of us, all of us have different contacts and things that we do. I think each of us are able to pitch in there and provide updates. So the manager is going to take a look at that and providing that to us, and I hope my colleagues would provide him with some examples where we might be able to assist in that range. We talked about some delays with garbage pickup that have been occurring a lot here lately, especially over in District 2 that we've noticed. And city manager promised me he's going to look into that and provide us with some feedback here for some of our residents. We all received an email from one of our residents yesterday, I believe, and I want to make sure that we're providing him, the real accurate information when we respond to him. So thank you for that, Mr. Manager. We talked about some customer service complaints that I've received personally, and I know some of you all as well. And again, there's 2 sides to every story when they come to us. One of the things I asked the manager to do is if he could provide us with a monthly breakdown of customer service calls that come in. We hire a consultant to do this work for us. Then, as things move on, if it's something they can handle, they handle it. If it's something that needs to be escalated, they come to a city employee to handle. But sometimes things fall through the cracks. And one of the things I asked him if he could provide us with the number of calls that we receive on a monthly basis to the customer service line, the average wait time of those calls, the type or binning of those issues that are identified, how long does it take to address these concerns or issues once they're raised? And do we have a plan to address or follow up with the person who called and left a message or somebody we didn't actually get, to talk to? So he's going to follow up on that with us as well. And then I'll just end with, we have several events upcoming in the next few weeks. Multiple organizations are going to be providing turkeys to members of our community and members of our military community over the next week or so. So if you have the opportunity, please get out there and support when you can. We have Thanksgiving. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Let's not forget about those who work when we're having our turkey dinner. And that's a litany of across the board, from police to people on call with the city to repair our water and sewer lines, electric, our service members. Let's be thankful that we're able to have this time and pray for those who aren't able to be with their families during that time period because they're out there trying to protect and serve us. So reach out from there. And then I think the mayor's already kind of leaned into, we do have a Christmas tree lighting ceremony coming up. I won't be there, unfortunately, but look forward to having that in downtown Homestead. With that, again, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Fairclough Staggers.
Yes. I'd like to start off by thanking the AYSO for being here. What is always profound for me is when you have a child or student driving the message. And the two that spoke tonight did a phenomenal job. And I was particularly inspired by the young man when he mentioned that he grew up on the soccer fields and the relationships that he built on the soccer fields. Those will be everlasting. So that really drove it home for me, young man. So I'm going to support you financially. And I happen to have a father at my school who works for FIFA. He moved here. He's a big wig in FIFA. So I'm going to contact him to ask him if he can support you all on your quest to compete in, I believe, California. So if I can get your contact information, I would love to follow up because I already texted him already. So I'll see what he says, but I hope he can support you as well. Also, in thinking about the Learn to Swim item that's on our legislative list, if we are not successful in securing funding from the state, perhaps we can consider through CDBG under public service, since a percentage of those funds can be used for public services, and this would fall under public service. So when it's time to think about those projects that we're going to fund under CDBG, I know we're still funding STEM with Dibia Dream Foundation, I believe. So when it's time to discuss those projects, perhaps we should consider Learn to Swim, because it's at this junction, it's mission critical. Given the data and the statistics, it's something I think we should prioritize. Also, our very active Mayor's Youth Council, they're coordinating a food drive to support the soup kitchen. So if you have some extra items around the house and you want to support the Youth Council, we will be dropping off the items on Monday, I believe, November 21st. So if you have anything, drop them off in my office, and the Youth Council and I would be more than happy to take them over to the soup kitchen on November 21st. And on the heels of Thanksgiving, I'd like to express my gratefulness and thankfulness to all of you in the role that you play in my life, the lessons and the blessings. And I pray that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family. And if you're frying turkey, let me know. I'd love to have a seat at your table. My number is 786-205-3410. Let me know. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Back to you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman. All right, quickly, let's move to, I have on the agenda, and I think this one of those things kind of fell through the cracks the last couple of months, is the appointment of James Sutton, who I think we all know, to the Vice Mayor's Tourism Advisory Committee. Are there any objections to that appointment? All right, my next item is hopefully a quick discussion on the Public Art Committee. I think all of you are aware that we now have 3 vacancies on that board. Unfortunately, board members Deal, Manfredi, and Chairman Sorrentino have all resigned in the last couple of weeks for varying reasons. I know there's another member that very rarely attends, so they're got some quorum issues and progress issues. And just kind of kicking it around with the manager, and we wanted to bring it to council and see if we wanted to announce those vacancies and fill those vacancies in the coming months and then name a chairman from among the newly constituted board, or if for a set period of time, and I'm thinking through December 31st of next year, that this council act as the Public Art Committee first to continue forward with the projects that they've set out and continuing in those first components of the master plan. I think there's some concern more than a few members of the committee that sometimes their meetings got bumped when we had workshops or special call meetings. They had a hard time getting quorum, and sometimes staff just wasn't available. And I'm thinking that they had gone so far and identified those projects that maybe if it's council sitting in that capacity for a limited time, to keep the momentum going rather than spending maybe 2 months even filling the board seats. I'd like to have your thoughts on that, and we can formalize that perhaps as a real quick agenda item at the special call on December 8th, if we can do that. If we need to formalize that at all, if we're going to step in and act as that board.
I would defer to James on that if we're going to temporarily stop the committee and give it back to council.
There's a couple of ways to address it. The easiest would be if we just amended the code provision, that section of the public art, and just dismantled the public art committee. And you all in your capacity just serve as the council who oversees the acquisition, allocation of the public art funds. Or we could do something in the interim, or you could wear your hat as the LPA who makes a recommendation to yourself as the council, similar to how you all serve as the LPA, making a recommendation to yourself as the council.
That's kind of what I had in mind because, you know, an amending an ordinance is going to take at least 60 days to get that done. So that if we have the ability, and I don't know, you look like you want to chime in, you know, wave our magic wand, whatever we need to do as quickly as possible to at least temporarily act in that capacity, you know, similar to the LPA and CRA board, whatever it may be. Can we begin to accomplish that on December 8th?
Well,
what do we need to do to go down that road?
I will consult with the manager, we'll consult, and whatever is the path of least resistance and the fastest, we'll set it out and do. It may require a code amendment or a modification just to reference that with a sunset, but I don't have that answer. I'll figure it out tonight, but we can do that and
Sure. And if the code amendment is occasioned only by virtue of a sunset, we can come back and do that later. But I want, you know, if we're going to take on this role, at least temporarily, to begin to step in and do that. And I forgot to mention also that apparently I've seen some correspondence that, and this isn't on us, it's on the artist, and I don't mean that in a demeaning way, but the artist for the one sculpture seems to have withdrawn from that project. The globe composed of the hands. I just wanted to, you know, in case you were not aware of that. Councilman Roth?
Yeah, just I'm all for that. I mean, we're gonna wear so many hats here, it seems like. But James, can you? Are we required to have the public art committee?
no, you're not required to have it. There is a portion of the public art ordinance that's a Miami-Dade County ordinance that is applicable to municipalities that dictates and mandates that when you all construct the new governmental building, as part of that budget, there's a specific amount that's set aside for the acquisition and installation of public art, and there's a process at the county where it has to be a competitive artist selection for that particular artwork. That's the only requirement that you have to worry about. I mean, there's not a Florida statutory requirement that you have a public art program or a public art committee. So it's really how you all want to set it up. I mean, you really, it's your choice. I mean, it may very well be that if you have no board members to constitute a board and they're only a recommending body, and if they can't make a recommendation, then maybe we don't need to do anything. You all basically will take on that role if and when you all decide to take action on the expenditure of any of the public art funds for public art.
Well, and to that point specifically, they've identified some other projects that I think we've somewhat given a blessing to by adopting their master plan. So just the process of advertising, authorizing the advertising, selecting through recommendation of the artist, you know, that particular artist and their product to us, you know, we're lose another 60 or 90 days before that committee could even be up and running again. to do that. And since they already have some things sort of at the mouth of the pipeline, I think it would be to our, in terms of getting things done, that if we step into that role now, we can continue the work they've already done. And this is no reflection on the committee, a committee of, citizen servants, and I hope that someday we can hand it back and let them do that work and do the tough work and hand it to us to pick statue B or statue A. But I don't want to lose the momentum they had, is where we are now.
And I agree with you on that aspect. I was just curious that this board was established when?
Off the top of my head, I don't have it right in front of me, but it goes back to, circa 2000, 2010.
About 2010. And they were just able to put together the master plan last year? This year?
Well, there had been the board had been constituted early on, and then it was plagued by a bunch of problems, and things started and stopped and never really took fruition. And then there was a period of time where there wasn't a fully constituted appointed board. So that work got either dismantled, lost, or started from scratch all over again with this board. Ultimately, the code requires that there be a master plan so that you could follow. Ultimately, you all adopt it, and you're free to modify it, change it, or set the priority with regards to how you want to allocate and spend. So it was always a recommendation by the Public Art Committee to you all, but ultimately you all had the authority to choose to go with option A, B, or C, or we want to allocate and acquisition with this art. You ultimately had the ability to follow that or not follow it and act however you all saw fit. The only caveat is that the way that the system is set up is that you have to spend the funds in accordance with the purpose for which they were collected. For public art, the definition of public art is drafted very broadly so that it can include and does include the wide spectrum of mediums and aspects of art.
Right. So this has been going and going and going, and I'd like, I like art. I like the experience of art, and I think if we're going to take on this role, we need to establish some goals, right? There's public art out there that we don't even know about, and because I've sat on council, I know that the Palace Gardens, for one, is a public art. We gave them a credit for, $100,000 to display public art. But nobody in the community knows that. So if we're going to take on this role, I would think that we would want to set up some kind of a program where, whether it be a walking path through downtown that has art that's historic to the city, art that's presented by artists throughout the community, but actually make it an organized thing where people will want to come to the area. We're not going to be Wynwood. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But we have a rich history, and we can express that through art, through other venues. And I think that's something we need to focus on: is how do we, as a body, create the experience. That account has how much money in it? Does anybody know?
Round numbers, $1 million.
I want to say it's close to $1 million.
So we have the financial source,
And they've identified the projects, and that's what I want to keep moving.
Yeah, I'm all for it. If we got to get somebody on staff that can help us with that.
And you bring up a good point. There are other pieces of that puzzle to fill in, but let's get those art pieces, begin to get them deployed so that we can have that walking map of
I think it'd be
or
great.
art.
I think it'd be great.
And again, I don't want us to do this forever, or saddle future councils with that. Councilwoman Bailey?
You know what we could do? We could do murals down Maury. It's coming back to you soon, FYI. No, but in all seriousness,
Velvet Elvis.
You know, you'll all have a say in one of the murals. A big thank you to the committee, and I am more than happy to make sure that these projects that they've started can continue, but I would really love for us to keep putting those notices out to see if we can. I really thought that this last group was a great representation of the entire city. So, you know, my very best to everybody that is no longer on there. And please hold tight to those that are still interested, because I personally will go out there and try my best to get just different, you know, different aspects of, we have so much rich culture and history that I would really love to see this committee continue, but I agree that to not
I
let
would too,
anything
but
go.
let's be a stopgap entity.
For sure.
Yeah. Councilwoman Avila?
Yes, thank you. So just to be clear, there is an option to dual put out the notice for the vacancies as well as continue as the default decision makers on these projects, right? So we can still make the announcement, at least publicly, receive any inquiries and, you know, any nominations.
We can do that. We can advertise vacancies.
Yeah. And then but no delay in moving forward with our agendas and the decision making, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm good with it. Thank you.
So I mean, you can coordinate with the manager how you all want to proceed. You know, if we were preliminarily in discussions about the one hand sculpture, that's off the table now. So then it's what's next.
Mayor?
Thank you, James.
I think
Yes.
James has a good idea. He mentioned earlier, let us find the path of least resistance to get you guys in charge of it.
Absolutely.
And we already have the master plan, so we'll dust it off. We'll bring it back to you next month. You guys can look at the existing projects and pick one together and just give us the direction, right? And then we'll do what we need to do at that point to get the process going.
Very good. And I if you haven't, I know some of the individuals needed to have some deeper vetting. I understand that that's been done. So if you could individually brief council members on those results.
I'll be more than happy to do that again.
Some will go forward, some will not. All right, thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Councilman Fletcher.
You know, speaking of public art, in public places, we have this beautiful hallway out here that's empty, just walls. And we have what some people might call art sitting up on the third floor in portraits of all of our former mayors. You know, maybe those can be placed downstairs where the public can see them rather than up in a corridor where nobody sees them. Some people think that's art. You know, it is a part of it. Everybody has their own, idea of what art is, but I think they would serve a purpose better downstairs so the public knows who their representations were over the years.
I mean, if that's council's wish, we'll take care of it. Maybe we could talk about it next month.
I've always been supportive, and was supportive of that when I first saw this building, long before I ever thought I would be back in a seat at this dais, that historically they were all in public areas. They're kind of hidden away up there. And the councilman's right. If we can't have benches in the lobby, let's at least have some portraits.
So why don't I do this? Why don't I get staff to create some conceptuals, so at least you have a general idea, like where would we hang them, how it would look, and we'll bring it back to you at that point you can give us direction.
And we've got access now. Some of the early mayors are missing. We have no images. Bob Jensen did some digging, and we do have some images that perhaps could be reproduced to fill in those historical gaps as well. So, all right. Good. Thank you, Councilman Fletcher. Any further, Councilwoman? Okay. Very good. All right. So, I know it's repetitive, but I can't say enough about what a tremendous park opening we had. I don't know how many thousands of people were there, but I have this feeling that every kid who was there and played on that playground has gone to school and told their friends about it. And the kids who were there and the kids they told in school are all dragging their parents to that place. You know, it was very heartwarming to see and feel the energy from the kids and the younger parents and families there in that playground. It's quite a milestone. And again, I want to thank everybody who had a hand in that. I wanted to come back around to something we talked about earlier in the legislative packet. Something that's not financial for a change is a move to adjust that anonymous code enforcement statute that was put in place that's really suppressing people who are having real issues from, I think, calling in and expressing some concerns. So just want to point out that that was in the package as well, so that, real, legit code enforcement complaints can come from residents without fear of retribution. Last month I had under my business a neighborhood stabilization program. Let me just say this: if you haven't been briefed by staff on the status of those properties, please go get an individual briefing on that rather than belabor a lot of history in public on a lot of different properties. I would encourage each of you to get your briefing. Councilwoman Alvo, if you could remind us the Hombres toy drive, when is that? Is that still set for the plaza? Is that like the 17th?
I believe it's the 17th, and I can pull it up here in just a moment. Oh, there's no service. The 17th?
It was the 10th, wasn't it? There was a.
Excuse me, correct. December 10th from 2 to 5 here at City Hall Plaza. The 17th was an original date, but it's the 10th. The 10th.
So it's on the 10th, and it's not a toy drive, it is a giveaway, correct?
Correct. Toys for kids.
Distribution.
Toy giveaway. Distribution. Yes, Mayor. Thank
Distribution.
you.
Okay. And if we can advertise that on all our social media platforms, and I think we had perhaps talked about getting maybe some transportation available from the Southwest to help bring in everyone who needs to be there. It's funny what becomes important in the life of a community from time to time. I know we all know it, but I want everybody else to know. We got a new garbage truck delivered this week with the expectation of another one next week, and hopefully the third one early next year.
All I can say, Mayor, is that prayers come true,
There you
right?
go, yeah.
I got one. Hopefully within the next week, we're getting the next one as well. So we're very excited about that.
And finally, if you could just, and I know the tree lighting ceremony is the early evening of December 3rd. I know it's all over social media, but I just want to remind folks there is, we've really taken it up a notch from where it's always been. Snow, snowballs, snow sledding, really grand entrance of Santa. Sweet Jaylene's is going to be serving cocoa and cookies. A lot of the South Dade Band is going to play. We've got some other music lined up. It will be a holiday extravaganza second to no other city. It's using the park for what it was always intended for. I want to thank all of our staff for putting that together. And I think any day now, some of the decorations will start arriving.
Yeah, this Friday, they're going to start putting them up.
Very good.
Black Friday.
Oh, Black Friday. My apologies.
Black Friday, okay.
Yeah, after Thanksgiving.
And we've been promised a bigger and better city tree in the park. Bigger park, bigger tree. All right, that's all I have. I'll add to the seasonal greetings. What a wonderful time. And it just came to my mind, though, that, I think we're in exciting times here in Homestead, and the next year is going to be very eventful with a lot of good things happening. I'm not going to say there's not going to be some painful moments and hours here in the next month or so to get to good things, but we'll get there. Well, thank you all, and we'll see a lot of you on December 8th. With that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion
Moved.
and with a happy birthday to my husband for Thanksgiving Day.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you all. Good night. Meeting adjourned.